The story begins millions of years ago, during the reign of the Titans who ruled the earth. Their reign ends with the rise of their children, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, who overthrow the Titans in a brutal war. However, the story reveals a darker truth. Zeus, driven by a lust for power, convinces Hades to create the Kraken, a monstrous sea creature, as his weapon. This cunning plan allows Zeus to claim the heavens, Poseidon the seas, and Hades, unknowingly tricked, becomes ruler of the underworld. In the midst of this upheaval, we encounter Spiro, a fisherman who finds a coffin floating in the sea. Inside, he discovers a living baby, Perseus, in the arms of his deceased mother. Spiro, touched by the tragedy, decides to adopt the child. Years pass, and Perseus grows into a young man, his demigod heritage unknown to him. He lives with his family, but they are caught in the harsh realities of the world. The family sails to the coast, only to witness the destruction of a statue of Zeus by the soldiers of Argos. This act of defiance signals the beginning of war, but their boat is attacked by Ares, the god of war, who is revealed to be behind the destruction of the statue. Perseus is knocked unconscious, and his family, trapped in the sinking boat, perishes in the depths. Soldiers rescue Perseus and take him to Argos, a city of immense wealth and power, where King Zeus, the orchestrator of the war, reigns victorious. The soldiers introduce him to the court, where the Princess Andromeda reside. Andromeda attempts to offer him a drink, but is stopped by Draco, a soldier whose unwavering loyalty to the king makes him wary of Perseus. Andromeda delivers a powerful speech against the war, fearing the consequences of the god's wrath, but the queen dismisses her concerns, stating the gods need them. She boasts about the beauty of Andromeda, envied by Aphrodite herself, a testament to their superiority over the gods. Their discourse is interrupted by a black cloud that engulfs the soldiers, materializing into Hades himself. Hades reminds the king of his origins as a mere creation of the gods and forces him to kneel. Perseus, wanting to fight, is stopped by a woman named Io, who recognizes his true potential. Ares, hearing the queen's words, punishes her by stealing her youth. He then warns the city they have 10 days to sacrifice Andromeda, otherwise he will unleash the Kraken. Hades reveals to Perseus that his father is Zeus, and he is destined for greatness. When the king decides to use Perseus's strength to save the city, Perseus, unsure of his abilities, claims to be an ordinary man. But later, Io, a woman who was punished with eternal youth for rejecting a god, visits Perseus in his cell. She reveals the truth of his parentage and tells the tale of his birth, which was prophesied to be the downfall of Ares. This revelation convinces Perseus to accept his destiny. A small army is assembled to face the Kraken. Draco, convinced of Perseus's inherent strength, trains him. Perseus, initially uncertain, soon reveals his true nature, displaying immense power and defeating Draco in a sparring match. Meanwhile, Ares, seeking to eliminate Perseus, manipulates Calibos, the former king Acrus transformed into a monstrous being. Calibos, empowered by Ares, attempts to assassinate Perseus, but is thwarted by the soldiers. The battle against Calibos and his scorpion-like creatures prove deadly, claiming the lives of many soldiers. Perseus, helped by Io and the Jinn, survives the fight. Perseus undergoes a dangerous journey with the soldiers, including the hunter brothers, Kuzuk and Ozul. They encounter the witches of fate, who recognize him by his blood and demand a sacrifice. Perseus forces them to reveal how to defeat the Kraken. He needs the petrifying gaze of Medusa. To reach Medusa, they must cross the river Styx, the river of the underworld. the witches warn Perseus that his fate is sealed, that he is destined to die. Zeus, observing Perseus's journey, offers him a place among the gods, but Perseus rejects the offer. He chooses his own path, driven by revenge. He continues his journey with the soldiers, facing treacherous paths and deadly creatures. Their travels lead them to Medusa's temple. Medusa, sensing their presence, attacks, petrifying the soldiers. A fierce battle ensues, and with the help of Sulan, a jinn who sacrifices himself to save the others, Perseus manages to cut off Medusa's head. As Perseus is about to reunite with Io, Calibos appears and fatally wounds her. Fueled by grief and rage, Perseus, using the sword given to him by Zeus, kills Calibos. But his victory is shadowed by the loss of Io, who disappears into golden dust. Perseus, riding Pegasus, a black horse with wings, continues towards Argos. In the meantime, Hades, ordered by Zeus, releases the Kraken upon Argos. As the city is destroyed, Hades reveals to Zeus that his actions were part of a larger plan. He seeks to seize Zeus's power and control the underworld. Perseus arrives in Argos as the city is besieged by the Kraken. Hades, trying to stop him, sends monstrous creatures to intercept him. With the help of the Hunter brothers, Perseus recovers Medusa's head and uses it to petrify the Kraken, saving Andromeda, the princess. He confronts Hades, defeating him using a lightning bolt summoned by his sword. Perseus rescues Andromeda from the wreckage of the city and offers to stay by her side, but he decides to remain immortal, returning to his life as a fisherman. 10 years pass, and Perseus lives a simple life on the coast with his son, Helios. But the peace is shattered when Zeus visits, warning that humanity has stopped praying, weakening the gods and threatening their immortality. Kronos, the imprisoned Titan, is using this opportunity to unleash his demonic forces, threatening to escape his prison in Tartarus. Zeus pleads with Perseus to join the gods in their fight against Kronos, but Perseus refuses. That night, Perseus experiences a premonition. He dreams of underworld creatures attacking his loved ones and a fiery hand sweeping across the land. Meanwhile, in the depths of the earth, Zeus, Poseidon, and Ares, Zeus's other son, who considers Perseus a coward for his decision, gather to confront the threat. They reach Tartarus, the prison of the Titans, but Hades betrays Zeus and unleashes his creatures against them. Poseidon is killed, and Ares, joining forces with Hades, subdues Zeus. A chimera, a monstrous creature, emerges from the earth and attacks Perseus's city. Perseus, driven by instinct, rushes to save his son, Helios, who is targeted by the chimera. In a fierce battle, Perseus manages to trick the chimera into destroying itself. Perseus seeks guidance from the gods, but it is Poseidon who answers, revealing that Hades and Ares have joined the Titans and that the other gods have vanished. The only hope is to free Zeus from the underworld, but Poseidon, recognizing the burden, advises Perseus to seek the help of his son, Eeyore, and then disintegrates into dust. Meanwhile, Hades reveals to Zeus that he has joined forces with Kronos because he has promised to grant the gods eternal life once he is free. Perseus, bid farewell by his son, and armed with a wooden amulet, begins his journey with Pegasus. He arrives in Argos, where he is mistaken for a chimera, but saved by Andromeda. He reunites with her and, with her help, finds Eeyore, a thief and the illegitimate son of Poseidon. Perseus, knowing they share a common enemy, convinces Eeyore to help him free Zeus. Andromeda joins them, offering her support. Eeyore explains that Tartarus is guarded by Hephaestus, the god of the forge, who created the prison and the weapons of the gods. Perseus, with the help of Andromeda, persuades Hephaestus to help them. Hephaestus reveals a secret path to the heart of Tartarus, which he used to escape during its construction. In Tartarus, Hades reveals to Zeus that his actions are out of fear, because unlike humans, when gods die, they are forgotten. Perseus and his allies arrive at the gates of Tartarus, but they are confronted by Ares, who is determined to stop them. Hephaestus sacrifices himself to buy them time, allowing them to enter the secret path. Within the labyrinth of Tartarus, Perseus, Eeyore, and Andromeda face treacherous traps and creatures, including a minotaur, which Perseus defeats in a brutal battle. Kronos, finally freed from his prison after draining Zeus's power, seeks revenge against his brothers. But before he can fully escape, Hades, relieved that Zeus has escaped Tartarus, joins forces with him, promising to revive him as a god. As Kronos escapes, a battle erupts. Zeus, weakened, relies on Perseus, who collects the weapons of the gods, combines them, and forms the Spear of Triumphant, the weapon that defeated Kronos in the past. The final showdown begins as Zeus battles Kronos, but it's not enough to defeat the powerful Titan. Perseus, with the Spear of Triumphant, enters the heart of the Titan and destroys him from within. With Kronos defeated, Zeus, his power fading, dies, leaving Perseus as the last hope for humanity. Hades, his powers also diminished, reveals that perhaps he can finally become stronger. Andromeda, who has survived the ordeal, asks Perseus to stay by her side, but he chooses to continue his life as a mortal. If you enjoy it, click and subscribe and watch the next video.